Okay, everybody, I've had some people ask about the crocheted ear flaps on my hat. In today's video, I have a couple of little helpers, so I'm sorry if there's any interruptions. But so here I did just a basic half double crochet hat, and then I did a single crochet, different color here. And I'll end up on this hat, I'm going to end up making a bow to go on it. I'm going to do the ear flaps, and then I'm going to show you how to do the braided ties to go on it. So I did not cut my pink, since this is what I wanted color to do it in. No, Mommy, finish. If you want to do a different color, all you need to do is just slip stitch it anywhere on the hat. So it does not matter where we first start at. So I want you to chain one, and then single crochet, and across, stop trying like that, across your hat. This is going to be an adult size, so I'm going to do 12. If it's going to be for a child, you can kind of measure and see and base off that. I have a 5-year-old at this time, and I usually do about 8 for her ears. So there's 2, 3, let me put show you my stitches a little bit better here. So I just keep going along right along the brim. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now chain 1 and turn, or you can turn then chain 1, it does not matter. I'll try to focus this better. Now, I want you to crochet back across however many you have. So just single crochet back across it. This kind of builds it down a little bit. Cover up the majority of your ear. How I do it, and everybody does it different, I guess. You could slowly decrease it if you wanted to. I drastically decrease once I do these first couple rows here. I'm going to do one more row of single crochet after this one. So once you get to the end of your row, chain 1 and turn. No. Okay, so single crochet, so you got 3 rows of however many you did on the brim. Ashley, please get off of that. Now, you can do almost any stitch you want to do this. I like the single crochet it because it nice, tighter, warmer stitches. Air doesn't flow through it so easily. And since you are doing this for your ears, it kind of makes sense you don't want it to flow through. Okay, so there's 12. So you see how it just extends it up a little bit. This is going to be the inside of my hat, so you can see where we had some ends I crocheted over. Now, chain 1. Your first one's going to be single crochet 2 together. So you stick your hook in the stitch, pull through and hold, stick it in the next stitch, pull through and hold, yarn over and pull through 2, all of them. Then I want you to crochet all the way to the last 2 stitches. You 2. Hey, I need you to be quiet for a little bit, please. No. She had this one over here. It's almost dinner time. Alright, so I'm down to my last 2 stitches, so I'm going to go in it, pull through and hold, go in the next stitch, pull through and hold. So you have 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through. Chain 1. Now on this one we're going to start out with a single crochet 2 together. So pull through, hold it, and the next hook, pull through, hold it. Courtney, now. Yarn over and pull through everything on your hook. Then chain to the last 2 again. Or single crochet to the last 2. So crochet all the way here to the last 2 stitches. Alright, so next to the last one and hold. Go in there and pull through and hold, yarn over and pull through both. So you see how it's kind of shaping it in here on each side? So chain one, turn, and decrease again. So, into the stitch, pull through, into the stitch, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops that you left on your hook. Crochet to the last 2 again. Alright, on your last 2, so pull through, hold it, go into your next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through, hold, yarn over. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on here. Okay, I want to do this one more time. So based on how little the ears are and stuff, how far you're gonna want this to go to get so small on the end. Okay, so chain 1 and turn. You're gonna stick your go in here, pull through and hold. Go into your next stitch, yarn over, pull through and hold. So 3 in your hook, pull, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now you're going to single crochet to the last 2 again. You're going to go into that stitch, pull through and hold, and go into your next stitch and pull through and hold. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Now single crochet, chain 1. Turn and just single crochet in these just to kind of finish them off. So there you go. Now, take and cut long enough so you can weave in your ends nicely. Yarn over and pull through to finish off. I'm going to get my hook here, or my needle. Hardest part in there. Okay, now I go in down here where my stitches were and try to get right in the middle of them to make sure you're grabbing enough yarn when you go back and forth to keep this from coming out. So you go up and come back in just a little bit of a different spot. And I like to do it about 4 or 5 times just to make sure, especially with a hat, because you tend to wash hats a lot. So go back up through here. Okay, well, I'm going to do it 3 times. Not cover in, trash pile. Now, you can count around and match to the other side of your hat. I kind of cheat and just fold it over and mark it with my stitch markers. Oops, I'm not in the camera view very well. I'm trying to get you in the view. So I just fold my hat flat and line it up. So it's going to start here, and then I count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And sure enough, it doesn't stop on the other side just right. So, there. So now you know it'll be even. Now, so reinsert your yarn. Make your slip chain or slip knot. Don't talk. Not until I'm done with my video. Alright, so make your slip knot, and then just pick whichever side you want to start with. It's up to you. Since I'm right-handed, I'm just going to start right here. Stick it into your stitch. Slip stitch through everything you have here. Yes, I see. Chain 1, and then go ahead and single crochet in that same stitch. And then you can go ahead and pull this out. That way it's done. And then I crochet over my tail. That way I don't have to weave it in later. So make sure you do the length what you need to do. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm going to go ahead and take this out because that's my last one, and it's a 12. 12. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this tail because it's secure. Alright, so chain 1. And remember, you do the 3 rows of just straight single crochet, no matter what. Just to kind of build it up. You could go, if you wanted to, you could even go further down if you wanted to do 5 rows or whatever. I'm going to finish these rows and then I'll be back to go along to finish the video. Okay, I finished my 3 rows of just single crochet. So I chain 1 and turn, and now you're going to single crochet 2 together. So you go in your first stitch, pull through and hold. Go into your next stitch, pull through and hold. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over it, and pull through all 3 loops. Then you single crochet to the last 2 stitches you have. Now, in your last 2 stitches, you're okay. In your last 2 stitches, you go into the stitch, pull through and hold, into the next stitch, pull through and hold. 3 stitches, yarn over, pull through. Chain 1 and turn. I want you to keep doing that until you get to the size that you made your other one. So just remember your stitch count. So once you have your hat done, again I apologize for the children, have your little ear flaps done, then you get to make, you can do braids, you don't have to do braids, some people want them, some don't want them thick, some, I mean it just kind of varies on what you like, what you want to make, and how you want to do it. So let me get my yarn all turned around here right. I've had some helpers here this afternoon. So I got my colors, I used in my hat, and I'm just going to mix it up. Now, when I go to make my braids, you need to make your yarn as long as you want to, like, double it over. You're going to double it over to put it in there and braid it. So you need to remember that you're going to lose length when you double it over, and then when you braid things, it gets shorter also. So make sure you pull it long enough to know. And this is kind of a trial and error thing. A little extra. Plus, I leave a tassel, and I trim my tassel too. So definitely make sure you pay attention to that, because you're going to lose, again, some more yarn there. So once I cut my first piece, I just measure the rest to fit it. I'm going to do 4 of each color on each side. So I need 8 gray and 8 pinks. And if you don't get them exactly the same length, that's alright. That's why we trim it. If you can get it the exact same length, that's great. If not, you know, it's life. Courtney, stop please. Yeah, so. Thank you. Leave him alone. Alright, so this is 5. 6. 7. 8. And then after I make my first pink one, I'm just going to toss these gray ones to the side. Set that to the side. Let me find, where's my center pull? I like the center pull in my yarn. It goes so much better. I'm going to have to make this one into a ball soon, because if not, it's going to turn into a knotted mess and it's going to drive me crazy. Okay. There's one pink. So I'll put my gray to the side, make it a little bit less messy here. 2. And you can do it as thick as you want, as thin as you want. I've seen them where they're just like a few pieces of each color. I've seen people do lots of colors. I've seen people do, you know, just a one color one. I've seen, it's creativity. It's whatever you want in it. Okay, once you get your yarn cut, I take 4 pieces of one color and make sure you line up the ends on one side nice and even, and make sure you keep them that way. Okay, now I got that one done. And I know these probably seem really long. Like I said, they do shrink in different ways. So you want to keep them nice and long too. Alright, so take your other color and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And, oh. Hold on to it a little bit tighter at this end here. Stretch them out. And then put these together. And if you want to mix them up real nice and neat, you can. It's up to you. Alright, so here's all these together. So then, what you do is you go in the middle of your ear flap and stick your crochet hook in here.
No.
So find your spot, stick your crochet hook in there. Take your yarn strings and fold them over in half. Double them up, make sure you keep a loop at the top end. Let go,
Mommy, are you gonna use this?
Yes, I am. Alright, now put that loop over your crochet hook and I twist it. Ashley, will you please get her a bottle? I twist it a few times so it's nice and tight on my hook. And then I pull it through here. And this here is going to take some work getting it through this little hole. Okay? Okay, Ashley, Mommy's recording, honey. I am. Alright, so then you keep your loop up and pull the ends. So when you get it, your loop pulled through, you take the ends of your other yarn and just pull them all the way through. Some people helping. And then tighten it up nice on here, on your ear flap. Don't be, I mean, you don't want to tear it up pulling it, but definitely get it pulled on there. So, now, once you get it on here, then you get to sort out where you want your yarn. So, you need your 3 bands, for those of us that, I'm pretty sure most of us know how to braid. So, let's see here. Let's do 3 here. Got 2 pinks, 1 gray. Here's 1 more gray. So, there's 4 in that one. There's 4 there. And then what do I have over here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so let's do, what do I have left? 1 pink here. Do those grays there in the middle. And I'm going to sort that one over there. Okay, so just kind of split them up however you want to. And stretch them out nice and neat. So we all know how to braid. So just kind of hold it. Try to keep it tight and nice and neat as much as you can. I go over it 2 or 3 times, do a braid, and then I pull the whole tail through to kind of straighten everything out. So with sorting out the different colors, I like that the best. That way you don't just have like solid patches of color throughout. You can play with how you want to sort out your colors and figure out the best way that you want your braid to turn out here. I like to do it pretty tight because once it's used and worn and pulled on, washed a few times, it loosens up. And in addition, when we do our knot here at the end, it's going to loosen up a little bit and then also. So I like to have a nice tight braid to start out with. Just keep braiding it down through. We're pretty much to the end of your hat now. This really does not take long. For embellishments that you might want to do, you know, there's bows, there's flowers, there's pom-poms. A lot of people like to buy like the flower hair clips for little girls and just clip it on themselves, or like a flower pin that they would put on like their sweater or something and pin it on their hats. So that's always an option. If you're doing craft shows and such, that's a fun thing to put on for decorations to kind of help make the hat pop and have it some stuff like that. You know, you can buy those things at yard sales, thrift stores really cheap. Sometimes, you know, at Walmart and stuff, they'll have nice sales. You can get them cheap, so that way you can even sell it with your hat, you know. So that's kind of a nice thing to have. Or you can just use it as a display and keep your brooch and keep reusing it. Or, I don't know if it's really called a brooch. I don't know what the terms are for pins and brooches, which one goes which way. So, Keep braiding down through here till you feel it's long enough, or however long you want.
Mommy.
Yeah, I see.
Mom.
You're gonna have to wait. And then you can pick whichever yarn, and I did not do this ahead of time. Oh wait, I do have. Where I had cut off ends earlier, I have a couple pieces of pink here, just little small pieces that are perfect for tying this off at the end, okay? So make sure you do have that too before you get too far into this and you can't really let go of anything and you're trying to use like 1 1/4 hands to cut everything, because it definitely gets difficult. So, I mean, you can kind of see how narrow this is. Like I said, I am braiding tight. I crochet pretty tight too. So it depends on your tension, which we all know with braiding hair and stuff, how that works. Also, the amount of yarn strands you use has to deal with the thickness of this. So if you want a nice thick one, you can definitely up your strands. I have done hats with like 12 strands or more before. And it's really kind of cool, especially when you get doing like a bunch of different colors. That's a fun one to do the, you'll end up with that many yarn strands really easily. So, and then I looked for, on one of my last hats I did a multicolored pom-pom, which was fun too. Oops, I broke my camera, I'm sorry. I just found a video on YouTube to do that, and that was actually very easy to make, honestly.
Mommy, play.
You want your bitty baby?
That's with mine too.
Okay, lay her on your blanket. Yeah. Let's see here. Now I kind of watched, like, right there you can see where one of mine got cut really short. So I'm going to end my braid right here. So I'm going to take this here. And it's kind of hard to tie it, like I said, with one hand trying to hold it. It might be easier if you have like little girls and have little rubber bands to help hold it for right now. But, okay, so you put it around there, tie it, and knot it. And then I like to flip it over and knot it on the back one time. Good knots here. Knot it on the back. And then I'm going to flip it back around and I'm going to knot it twice on the front. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to work with a short strand, so you can cut this longer. I just like to use as much of my yarn as I can without throwing it out. So there's one knot. I'm going to do one more on the front just to help make it stay. Actually, will you please come over here and help your sister? So then you go, I'm going to cut these kind of short, that way they blend in. If you're doing this for a boy, they probably don't want these little braids on here. That's, I mean, up to each person. Little kids don't mind too much, I think. So, alright, so there's the end of that little short one. So I got everything nice and straight.
Bye-bye.
And these pair of friskers somebody has used. They don't cut very good. So there you go. And you cut the end of your tassel. Alright, so then you just do your other side exactly like that. Very simple. And then you'll be done. And you have your ear flaps and braids on your hats. If you have any questions, please comment below.